Alrighty, 6:01, so it's time to get the meeting started, and we will have prayer first and then the pledge of allegiance to the flag. God, heavenly gracious Father, we just thank you so much, Lord, for this day that you've given us to enjoy. God, we thank you for the rain that you've been sending us, Lord, and protecting us from the bad weather. Thank you for each one that's taking the time to come out tonight, Lord, to be involved in this meeting. Pray for each of them, each of our commissioners, God, to give us the good judgment and good discernment to make good decisions tonight, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is there anyone in the audience who'd like to come speak to us for 5 minutes about anything? All right.
Hey.
Marjorie, just state your name and address, please.
My name is Marjorie Womack. Good afternoon to everybody here. Good evening. I just wanted to come and introduce myself. Can you hear me okay?
The address.
Oh, address. 51 Glenwood Road, Chula.
Thank you.
So I'm fairly newcomer to Tift County. I have roots here though. My family, my mom was born and raised here with her siblings, and my family, my grandfather was a building inspector here for many years, and my uncle had a restaurant here. Anyway, I have roots here in Tift County. I haven't lived here very long, but I intend to live here for a long time going forward. So I don't know many of y'all. But what I wanted to do is just come and introduce myself tonight, because there's a lot of information that has come to me recently that indicates that there is a massive groundswell of interest in the paper ballots. I might be tired of hearing about stuff like that, but this is the first time I've come before you to speak about it. So the information that's coming to me, I want to be able to share with y'all, and I want to send y'all an email just with embedded video. I hope you can accept that, or y'all allowed to play those kinds of things on your computers and stuff. So it won't be any malware or viruses or anything. I'm just going to send to you guys and ladies, sorry, a video of some information that came to me that I think it would behoove you to make yourselves aware of. And it's nothing adversarial. That's why I wanted to come today and just let you know who I am, put a face with that email that's coming to you. So I want to share that with you. And I don't know if you'll have the same gut feeling that I do about it, but the reason that I want to share it with you is because I think that we're all here tonight because we care about where we live, and we believe it's our duty to serve in our communities with whatever talents, whatever we can do to protect it and preserve it and make it better. And so with that being said, I'll send you a video of information put together by a lady named Kim Brooks up in Gwinnett County. And it's going to tell you about various ways that they have found this irrefutable tampering with data. And we don't want that to happen here. If it's not happened here, great. And we don't want it to happen here, because the bitterness and the division that it's creating in these communities, I got a little whiff of, there's been some division in Tift County between the city and county at some point in the past. I know nobody likes division. I don't know what kind of division this will cause if we don't get ahead of this and educate ourselves by listening to the information that's out there, the more reliable information. I consider this information highly reliable information because I know the people involved and I know their character. But also, I saw tonight, I didn't have a chance to prepare. I would have sent you this, had this already printed out for y'all to look at tonight. But one of the things I want you to see is what Milton, Georgia is doing, and they're saying, I've just heard a little bit about this. I don't know for sure. I've tried to research it a little bit to find out how exactly they're doing it. But one of the requests that's being made is to just scrap the computers, okay? I mean, we're rural people, we know how to do things the hard way. I don't think dealing with the computers is really any easier because it's created all of this cloud of confusion and opportunity for people to argue and stuff like that. And I think that some of these people like Milton, Georgia, I believe they have just decided to go separate from Fulton County in order to have their own elections the way they want to. And they're going to be doing hand-marked, hand-counted, paper ballots. It's basic, it's elementary, it's as easy as you can do it. It's a piece of paper. You put the blocks separate enough that nobody marks the wrong box. You can see who somebody's trying to vote for. And then you count them on the precinct level. And when you do that, you have batches and they can be recounted. And that way you have something to go back to. It's very elementary, but wanted to share that with you. I'll practice. You can tell I'm in favor of that. But I also, when I saw tonight that tonight was the night of the county commission meeting, I'm over in Albany at work, and I realized that about 3:30, and got over here. I didn't get a chance to. I was trying to write my notes down on the back of a salmon dip recipe over there, but I decided to just plead to you guys to take the time to really look at what I'm sending you. I'm not going to send you a bunch of junk. I'm not going to spam you all the time or anything. But what I'm getting ready to send you, I think it would behoove y'all to know. And I saw on the agenda that, this is where I was going with that a minute ago, I saw on the agenda that y'all were going to be talking about providing provisions for elections into the smaller municipalities around here. And so I think that if you look at what Milton is doing, they're saying that it's saving them at least $100,000 in a community of 30,000 people. So there's also another resource coming around that a guy has put together that y'all might be interested in seeing sometime. I'll send you the link if you want to show up. That'd be great. But it's like a road show of how you do hand counted, hand marked paper ballot, what it looks like, how much it costs, etc. So if y'all would just take a look at that, I sure would be appreciative.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. All right, anyone else? All right, we do have one now. We've got Ms. Karen Thompson from the Tift County Public Library here to see what's talk to us.
I do. Good evening.
Good evening.
Information packets for you, so I'm just going to distribute this quickly. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So I'm here this evening to give you a snapshot of the library. We've heard a lot, we've heard a lot of things from our community about people not seeing what we do, or is the library a utilized facility, what's going on in the library, and so I've been with the library for 1 year and 4 months now. We just completed our first fiscal year under my leadership, and we have been very busy. My goal was to be presenting you this evening to show you how we have put your funding to work, because the commissioners have always been very supportive of the library, and I'm eternally thankful for that. So I'm pleased to share these statistics with you, and then share with you 2 national grants we have won, and talk a little bit about where we're going from here. So this is pretty exciting in my opinion. For this last fiscal year, July 1st through June 30th, our facility served 78,384 people. That is an increase of 31% from the last fiscal year. And those are just people walking through our door. We attended 332 outreach events, AVAC, Housing Authority, city events, Tift County schools, daycares, the migrant school program, Financial Literacy Initiative, KAC After School Program, the Bateman Youth Center, Second Saturday events, and area festivals. And through those events, we served 10,571 people on top of the number that comes through our doors. I'm very excited to share that as of this year, we were able to obtain our funding agent, the Board of Education, back. We lost them in 2013. And we made a mission this year to get our funding agent back. So they are now a secure, ongoing funding source for us as of this fiscal year, which was a big success for us. Circulation, the library circulated 109,867 items through our facility. Wi-Fi usage, this number counts the number of times somebody connects to our Wi-Fi system, 100,729 sessions. Program attendance, these are the people who come into the building to attend a program. We serve 5,917, and I just want to say, those programs generally started out with 2 to 3 people, and we've grown to about 20 to 25 people per program now. So we've been very slowly working, and we've been working at atypical programming. We now have a sewing class, we run murder and mimosas, really unique things to get people through the county, or throughout the county into our building. Our biggest accomplishment that I consider is our summer reading program. Last year, we anticipated 350 and we registered 647 people. This year, we planned for 700 and registered, as of last week, 1,099 participants for the summer reading program. And we are pulling people now from outside of our county. So I've listed in here, we now have registrants from Hahira, Ada, Lennox, Osceola, Ashburn, Enigma, Sycamore, Sylvester. So we're very proud of that number. That's a lot of reading for our kids. We're really glad to have them in our facility. So our usage is up across the board. On the reverse side, I've listed 3 grants that we have won. One we have completed, which is the Primetime Literacy Grant. We did this as a bilingual program. And this allows us to host families in our facility, feed them, transport them into our facility, and work with them to create bonding as a family unit. We worked with the migrant program at the Tift County Schools to target our migrant population. It's an underserved population, and we, through that, then grew our ESOL program. So that program was at 6 participants, and now we're pulling regularly over 20 participants in to learn English. We very recently won the National Endowments for the Arts Big Read grant. This is a national grant supported by the American Library Association and the Arts Midwest. We are the only library in Georgia to have won this grant, and that grant will launch at Rhythm and Ribs, and for 2 full months we will run extensive programming featuring the author Carmen Agredidi. We're bringing in a native storyteller from the Chickasaw Nation, Mr. Damon's Shadow Puppet Theater, and hosting a variety of events for our school children, as well as local events in partnership with the Tifton Council for the Arts and the Literacy Volunteers. We're very, very excited about that. And newly awarded to us is a second national grant. This is through the Public Library Association and AT&T. This is for digital literacy. And in this one, we are also targeting our migrant community to teach basic computer skills in Spanish to help them better their computer skills in our community. So that's what's coming up for us. The digital literacy grant will be running in the fall, and the national endowments for the grant, the Big Read, will be launching in February and running for 2 months. Moving forward, though, we do find ourselves in a financial crunch, and we didn't anticipate this, but I'm going to just use round numbers, but we are part of the state health benefit plan, and the state health benefit plan has increased its costs for benefits for full-time employees. So currently, we pay $11,000 per full-time employee in benefits, and at the end of the next 3 years, we'll be paying $19,000 per full-time employee. I only have 4 full-time employees. So to be proactive with our budget, we've scaled back 1 position, which was very challenging, to a 29-hour position. And I've just had a full-time employee vacate a position, and I'm filling it at 29 hours to keep my ask very low of the commissioners. But at this time, we do have a need of $14,000 to get my children's librarian back to full-time. And to get my other full-time person back to full-time, I would need an additional $30,000 for next year's budget. So that's the library. I didn't hope to have to say that last bit to you, but we worked as hard as we can to get it down. Our last increase from the county was fiscal year 2018. So this 14,000 is approximately a 4% increase request. So,
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
my understanding when we met during the budget time is that you were good for this fiscal
we're
year.
good for this fiscal year.
So the 14,000 you're talking about
It's
would
for
actually
FY
be
'25.
FY '25, so.
Yeah, you mentioned 30,000. That would be on.
That would be an immediate need to get my currently cut position back to full-time.
And when you say you're current cut position, you're cutting back because of the cost for
Correct.
for your healthcare.
We have to be able to serve the public, and the library has to be financially sustainable. And I don't want to hire full-time employees if I can't guarantee their position or their benefits. It was really hard. You can imagine for a full-time employee to lose their benefits. But the financial stability of the library in the future is what my job is. And so without the guarantee of those funds, I cannot in good conscience have two full-time employees that we didn't know for sure we could fund.
Do you have a question?
So in other words, you need 44?
For next fiscal year, yes. I do.
And you'll lose the full-time employee from now until you get that funding.
I'm currently operating with just two full-time employees and myself.
How many
And
part-
I'm a state paid employee, I don't have a local job.
How many part-time employees do you have right now?
I've cut one position, so I currently have 14.
That you spread across, so they're not all there at one time, so
No,
you spread them across.
yes, and the majority are 19 hours. This is the work we do with that. We put every last penny to good use, and we serve everybody that comes through that door. We serve everybody across the entire county of Tifton. We don't care where you come from, but we want you in our building and we're going to help you. And if we're strapped, we find a way to help you. And we plug ourselves in where we're needed. So, but this is what we've been able to do with your funding. And I'm really proud of these statistics.
We're getting a lot of good feedback about the library over the last year or so, so we appreciate that, and appreciate the time and effort it takes to apply for these grants. I know that's a lot of hard work that goes into that as well, so we appreciate that. I see what you have done here in partnership with the Tifton Council for the Arts. Do you do other things besides what was involved in this grant with them as a partner?
We do. The Celebrate Creativity, I think this year they're calling it the Love Creativity. I can't remember what they've renamed it this year. We host most of that in and around our building with them. We participate on third Thursdays with them. We provide them with technology. That was the position that was cut to $29, was my full-time IT person. But we send our IT person out to like the Leroy Rogers Senior Center to do classes, as well as to the arts to help them set up for all of that. We also host the TMA meetings, so we participate in all second Saturdays to support our merchants downtown as well.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you
Karen.
very much for supporting us and for being here to listen to me tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, items to be added to the agenda.
We have two, Mr. Chairman. One I have emailed to you previously. It's for the Brightly software for Community Services Department. This is a budgeted item, an annual budgeted item. And the second should be at your seats for purchase of helmets for the football season for recreation. 3 quotes have been received for those. You'll see that on your briefing item. And those are the two items that staff is asking to be added to the agenda as 8.11 and 8.12.
All right, hear a motion.
So moved.
Second. Commissioner Wood, second. All in favor? All right, now we have our minutes from the work session on June the 6th, 2023, executive session June 6th, 2023, twice. Public hearing. Public hearing for the FY '24 budget, June the 12th, 2023, regular session, June 12th, 2023, and called session, June the 20th of 2023. Do I hear a motion for those minutes?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? here, excuse me, public hearing, TCZA 23-06. Mr. Davis?
Evening, Board.
Good evening.
We had an application from Pine Hill Mobile Home Park for an expansion of their mobile home park. There was some concerns because they had shown up some sewer lines that was already existing. We just couldn't confirm that those lots were approved in the initial mobile home park when it was initially approved many, many, many years ago. So just to kind of clean up the air a little bit with them, we asked them that they would go through and fill out a formal request to expand their lot by 50, or their park by 15 more lots. This is situated between Bay Hall Road and Highway 125 South. This is directly behind the store that's there at the corner and their car wash. I've been out there to the property and there were sewer lines and all there. We just, they're looking and us looking, we just couldn't find anything. So we reviewed their application. They already have, like I said, sewer lines, water lines of their own. They went out since purchasing the mobile home park a couple years ago. They've already paved the roads out there on their own accord, not by us asking them to or anything. So this area's already got paved frontage. This would be, the 15 lots would be right there in that small area, right there by their office and directly behind that convenience store. We haven't had anyone come in opposition. The planning commission heard this on June 8th and they recommend approval to the board. They are here in the audience. If you have any more questions for them concerning their mobile home park, everything else there has met or meets the Tift County development. Okay. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I just have a comment. I was out there this past weekend, and I was amazed that a mobile home park has a pool out there. I was like,
We still gotta get solder around it. We're not 100% on that yet, man.
I'm like,
We're getting that solder on it.
that's pretty cool.
They have
It
really
looks good.
upgraded. They have really upgraded
Yeah, it
both
looks
parks
good.
that they bought. They bought Pine Hill and Pine Mountain.
It looks good.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Howell?
All right. Before we get started, I'll go ahead and we'll open up for public hearing, and then I'll address questions to the board before they vote about any potential conflict. So with that, we'll open up public hearing and comment for anybody that's for or against the application.
Sir, I represent ATM Properties. Can I come up?
Please,
Yes.
please come up, state your
Name
name.
and address, please.
Name and address. Say again? Oh, yes, we do have brochures from this hearing as well. So my name is Ian Richard Young, and I actually live in Columbus, Georgia. So my address is 7069 Spring Walk Drive. It's about a 2.5-hour drive from here.
Can you say your name one more time, please?
Yes, ma'am. Name is Ian, spelled I-A-N, and last name is Ian.
Yeah. Thank you.
So just a little bit about us, a little bit about our background is I'm the CEO of a company called NPM Properties. Actually got out of the Army about 2 years ago. Did not expect to find myself in this field of business. But I actually worked for my father-in-law. So his intent, his vision, and my vision now is to build communities. And we've started that with Pine Hill. We're not 100%, we're not complete there yet. We want to make it even better than it is now. And with this 15 additional lots, what we can do is we are going to be able to provide better housing for more people. So while I say that Pine Hill is the best park out there, no, but it's a lot better than it was when we got it. And if you look at some of the homes, some of the mobile home parks around, we're not doing mobile home parks. We want to do manufactured housing communities. When we came into Pine Hill, it was dirt roads, massive erosion everywhere, such that my park manager, who has a Jeep built for off-road performance, broke her suspension driving through that park. So that's why we spent $500,000 paving that park, putting parking pads in for the people, and renovating I don't know how many homes for those tenants. So what I want to say is we are here with the community. We have a vested interest in the community, and I don't plan on going anywhere. I want my legacy to be building communities, and I want this to be a place that my family can be proud of. So we're going to continue to improve this position. I'm sorry, I was Army. We're going to continue to improve. always improve your position. Sorry. We're going to continue to improve this park and this manufacturing housing community for as long as we're here. And I plan on being here for a very long time. And with that, I'm open for any questions you have, good, bad, or indifferent.
Questions? All right, thank you, Ian.
Thanks, sir.
Anyone else that would like to speak either on behalf of or against the application? no one else, then we close the public hearing. Before we take a vote, I also ask that if any commissioner, themselves, family members, or business interest has any kind of financial interest in the project that's being proposed or the application that's before them, please clear the conflict of interest at this time. Let the record reflect there's no conflict of interest. Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a motion on this zoning, TCZA 23-06.
So moved.
To approve. Sure.
Approved.
Okay, second. Okay, Commissioner. All right, all in favor? All right. All right, we do not have a consent agenda this night because our workshop fell on July the 4th, so we don't have it all in our regular session here tonight. So moving on to the regular agenda, item 8.1 is professional service agreement with Snyder Geospatial Public. Hayward.
Good evening, Commissioners. How y'all doing?
All right.
What you got here is, we've got this revaluation going on. It's gonna roll up to 2024. And Q Public offers an appeal module that's on their website that taxpayers can come to whenever those new values come out next year. They can do an online appeal and never have to come into the office. They can do this appeal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from the comfort of their home, and just hit the email button and it'll come straight to us in our office. What this appeal module does is it makes the taxpayer do a sales comparable search. So if you live at Forest Lakes, it's gonna find sales in Forest Lakes of homes comparable to yours. And then they're gonna see the values that the homes have been selling for. The research that Q Public has provided me in the past, and it'll track every time that the taxpayer logs in to start this search. Most people will come 2 to 3 times before they complete it or don't complete it. They've got about a 65% non-completion record, where people see the values, realize that their value's not as bad as they thought it was when they see their assessment notice, and they never complete their appeal. So what this is our service agreement with Q Public to get that appeal module added to Q Public. It's also, we're adding a tool called COGO, C-O-G-O. That's a tool where our cartographer can take deeds and plats whenever they receive them from the clerk of court's office. We're getting more and more and more deeds that will have from 1 to 10 tracks on them, and they will be able to take the data from that deed and it will overlay the existing line work in Q Public to help us identify if this is going to be a split or a combined, or what the taxpayer is really trying to do with their property. So that one, there's no setup cost for that. This is just setup cost for the appeal model. This is the agreement that we need to have signed.
However, not only would it potentially cut down on or allow folks to make more educated decisions as they talk about appraisal, but it also will potentially decrease the amount of staff time, because you're not, whether they decide to appeal or not, let's just say everybody decides to appeal. It also decreases and streamlines the process for them to do this through the software virtually rather than coming into the office. So.
Right. Whenever I started here in January of 2003, we rolled up a reval that day. That Monday morning when the mail had hit from that reval, they were lined up out the door to get in that day. And it was like that all week long. We had a lot of appeals out here. And we had to process each one of those manually by hand. This will definitely decrease, like Mr. Carter said, the amount of man hours and woman hours it takes to process an appeal. Once we get them, Lee County did a reval a couple of years ago. They ended up with 600 appeals, roughly. And they're similar to us in Parsons County. So that's a lot less than what we had in 03. We'll see. We'll see. The market's completely different now than it was then. I'm scared to see what it's for.
All right, any questions for Harold? All right, we have a motion to approve this purchase for him in his office.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
That's second. Second. Commissioner Stone, you second it, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Item 8.2, addendum to fiber transport service agreement, Mr. Al Stevenson.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
We currently have a contract with Clientele, that's also Truvista now, provides dark fiber, it connects all of our county buildings so that our employees can access all of our servers, email, jail records, finance, David's group, everything. Two of the locations that we have right now, one is Station 51, which is down on the Road Fire Department, and the Animal Control. We use what we call air fibers, where we shoot a signal through the air to connect them. We did that because there was no fiber available when we were connecting those locations up. And over time, because of vegetation and the increased traffic of radio traffic and electronic devices, those signals have gotten to the point where they're not reliable. And those connections are unstable. It's causing a lot of lag time in response when they're on the computer trying to access files, as well as our voice over IP system, our telephone system runs over that as well. Had a lot of drop calls at Animal Control. Candace almost cannot talk on the phone at times because the signals has been degraded. We talked to Truvista. They have offered to build out and bring fiber into both of those buildings at no cost to us, and to put them on the contract that we are working off of from 2021, and to charge just like they're charging all the other buildings at $713.55 a month. And we just don't see another alternative. We've tried site-to-site VPNs at these locations. We've tried air fiber. The only way to go right now, in my opinion, is to go with hard fiber into those buildings.
To make just a little bit of emphasis on what Al just said, there's not fiber in the ground, so they're actually gonna run fiber. So they're making these runs, so they have an infrastructure expense that they're absorbing, and our cost is just what our current cost is. So it's not costing us anything for the trenching and the burying of the cables and that kind of stuff. So we feel like it's a really good deal. And just, Al said, you know, for increased vegetation, just in case anybody thinks that's growing vegetable or something, it really means trees are getting taller. So, and, you know, the only way we combat that is to build taller towers. This does away with having to do that. We feel like this is a really, really good deal.
All right, any questions? All right, we have a motion to approve this addendum to the fiber transport service agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, second. All in favor? All right, thank you, Al. You must
Mr.
be-
Chairman, you are voting on all this, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I just haven't looked up.
All right, go ahead, Al, 8.3 and 8.4 and.
Yeah.
Or should we?
Yeah, it is. So in July of 2021, we entered an agreement with ThinkGuard to provide cybersecurity monitoring services for our internet connection, as well as internal to protect us from ransomware, that type of thing. So they provide, they're actually installed a piece of software called AMP and Umbrella. And it monitors 24 hours a day. Any activity that they see nefarious, it blocks it, it corrects it. They actually get a response on it. So in the middle of the night, on a Saturday night, I don't have to worry about that. They take care of it. That software has to be renewed from time to time for us to be able to get software updates from Cisco. And that is coming up due this month at $10,647.14. This has been a vital piece of software for us, caught many things, and we just see it as something.
How long we had this piece of software out?
Since 2021.
It's just a renewal of the current.
It's just renewal.
I agree with the piece of software we have, and it is budgeted.
Apparently doesn't protect us from power outages,
It does not. That's another agenda item coming soon.
All right, any questions? All right, we have a motion to approve this renewal.
So moved.
All right. Mr. Will, that motion, we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. All right, next.
Got one more. In 2015, when we were going through our process of putting in a voice over IP phone system, we contracted with AltaWorks to provide what we call a PRI line, which is basically the dial tone that we get from them. It's a circuit that comes into our building, connects into a router, and connects into the phone system. We have two of those. One's here runs into this building as well as the OC building. We've hadn't had any problems with AltaWorks. They've been standard company. But one of the things that they run, they build off of AT&T. And one of the issues is when they bring this circuit in, it's been brought in on copper. AT&T has decided that they're flipping the switch. They're no longer going to start supporting copper lines into businesses. They want to go through fiber. And so when we talked to AltaWorks, they reached out to us, told us there's going to be some additional costs for us to bring fiber in. And the response I got was how much that would be, and they said, well, we can give you a quote, but we've got to get AT&T involved and sign this, and we'll get them out there and figure out how much it's going to cost. It's almost like you got to pass it before you get to read it. So we talked to True Vista, who is actually services our phone system that we have. They provide technical support on that when we have issues internally. They can provide this service for $19.42 less than what we're paying AltaWorks. We see as that as an advantage to go with them. It gives us one person to call if we have a phone issue. We don't ever have to worry about, do we call AltaWorks, do we call True Vista? It'll just be one call to True Vista. We recommend approval of that.
All right, we have a motion. Or any questions first? Betty, we have a motion.
So moved.
All right, second.
Second.
All in favor of approving this? All right, thank you. Take a break. Appreciate all you do to keep it running here.
Thank you.
All right. Item 8.5, appointment to Region 8 EMS Advisory Council. Chief Fowler is on vacation, hope he's enjoying himself. So
That's the time of the year where folks are going on vacation, Mr. Chairman. That gets me to fill the part of where it says the county manager or their designee. So my designee's on vacation. The current appointed representative for Tift County to the Region 8 Emergency Medical Service Council is Mr. Alan Owens. As you're aware, Mr. Owens is no longer with Tift County. So we're actually recommending that the board vote to appoint Mr. Gerald Sumner. Gerald Sumner is been with us a long time. I would say he's probably the senior battalion chief at EMS now. So staff would recommend that the board vote to appoint Mr. Sumner to fill the unexpired term of Mr. Owens.
All right, any questions? We'll just do this as a motion and a second. We don't have to do the dog and pony show. All right, great. All right, we have a motion to approve Gerald Sumner for the advisory council, EMS advisory council.
So, what is it good?
I'll make a motion that we accept Mr. Gerald Sumner for the term and unexpired term and term.
All right, thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Mr. Wood, second. All in favor? All right, thank you. Mr. Petrie on vacation too?
No, sir, they had some kind of program.
Oh, okay. All right, swim team contract.
Yes, I'll fill in there too, Mr. Chairman.
I guess so.
Purpose for this agreement is, as you guys know, the utilization of our pool, our Second Street facility, is really, there are three primary uses of that. One being recreation, the other being the high school swim team, and then the our Tift area tidal waves, which is a competition local swim team. Whereas the team is a nonprofit entity that provides a swim team year-round for children and youth of different ages. Whereas this is actually in the form of a resolution. So I'm gonna take all the whereases out, Mr. Chairman. We've had an agreement with them, and we're actually updating that agreement. That agreement was put together by Red Rabbit and Ms. Jennifer Herzog from Tony's office, and it covers their utilization, continued utilization of the pool. It's 1 year agreement, and it has an automatic renew for 4 successive years. But as anything else, there is also a way for either party to terminate that with 30 days prior notice. So teams pay a fee of $800 per month for each month through October when they use the pool, and then as you guys know, once their season ends, the high school season has started. A lot of kids that swim on the tidal wave also swim on the high school's team, so you've got folks swimming year round. So I'll answer any questions that you got.
All right, any questions? All right, we have a motion to approve the swim team's contract.
So,
Do we have a second?
Second.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
Any coffee or something?
Yeah, everybody's sleepy. It's weather.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, thank you. All right, item 8.7, lease agreement with John Deere Financial for lease of a motor grader. Mr. Carter, you on roll?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Jordan is not here either. In November, at the November 14, 2022 regular session, the board voted to lease a 2023 motor grader from Dobbs Equipment, which is John Deere, cost of $291,452.44. This piece of equipment has arrived, and these documents need to be executed to take possession of the motor grader. This is a 5-year lease with payments or annual payments of $52,399.77. This is with this lease, the county will be paying $29,454 less than anticipated. So the equipment's here. We're ready to get this executed so we can move an old unit out and a new unit in this place.
Gotcha. Any questions? All right, we have a motion to approve the lease agreement for the John Deere motor grader.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
I'm trying.
I know, it's not.
At least he got his hand up high that time. All right. Item 8.8, agreement for the provision and funding of election services for the city of Omega.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to point out nothing just for more pleasure than writing my name on these agenda items. And if I would, if I can, I'm going to go ahead and cover 8.8 and 8.9. Y'all can vote for them separately, but they're basically the same thing. In this particular voting cycle, as you guys know, normally cities vote on all cycle years from the county. So when Tata has an election or Omega has an election, or in this case we've been handling Tift, but Tata and Omega have handled their own elections locally because something that we're going to be talking about in the very, very near future, which is a SPLOST referendum in November, would because of the way the current voting system is set up, they could not vote a county election and a city election on the same ballot if the Board of Elections is handling one and their election supervisor is handling the other. They have to have two pieces of equipment. The only way that they can have one voting machine, both things on the same ballot, is to do what Tifton does, and that's contract with the county to manage their elections. There's been discussion with staff here as well as with Board of Elections and the election supervisor. So you got an agreement for the county to handle not only this upcoming fall election, but all elections for Omega and Tata moving forward.
All of them. Okay. All right, any questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the agreement for the provision and funding of election service for the city of Omega?
So moved.
All right, we have a second?
Second.
Ooh,
I'll let Commissioner Stonehager have it. Greg got a bunch tonight. All in favor? All right. And then a motion to approve the agreement for provision of funding of electric service for the city of Tata.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, that's what we move along, guys. All right, 8.10, local government scrap tire abatement reimbursement program agreement. Ms.
We-
Jordan.
We have been awarded the grant for our scrap tire event on November 2nd. And this agreement is required to get back with them to EPD within 30 days, which we'll have plenty of time voting on it tonight. But if y'all still want to go forward with this program, we'll need to vote to approve this so we can sign it and send it in.
The event will be held on Thursday? Oh, man. During the week?
And I have reached out to Keep Tift Beautiful to try to see if they would help us with the event. We had to do it that way to keep Jason's, our road department's costs down, and I know last time we had the event, he was having a hard time getting people to working on the week. But we're gonna extend the hours so that people can come either before or after work. So,
All right, any other questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
We still need to move forward. I'm just thinking, how many tires will we get during the week?
Mitch,
A bunch.
you tell folks we're gonna take tires.
It's like giving away free balls.
It'd be like a holiday,
Free
we
one.
take it on work.
It's like giving away free
We don't
balls.
take that.
They'll do that.
when we had it on Friday and Saturday, we always got more on Friday than we did on Saturday.
All
Is that a
right,
motion?
I know we need them. We definitely need it. I wish we could do it once a year.
Is that a motion?
I'm gonna say once a month. Yes, that's a motion.
I'll second. All right, all in favor? All right, thank you.
And we will go ahead and start promoting it now so people can.
Very good. Nobody to say.
All right, we got item 8.11, it was added to Brightly software. Chris?
This is our computer software that we use in our office for permitting, code enforcement, and business license. This is the software that we replaced the crash software a few years ago. This is just our yearly contract with them at $12,089.96 every year.
Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve the renewal?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
Okay, who was that first?
Commissioner Wood moved and Commissioner Stonehager seconded. All in favor?
I'm just loud.
No comment. All right, 8.12 was the football helmets. I guess Mr. Carter will cover that for us.
Mr. Chairman, so this is as you see, they've got quotes to purchase, football helmets. I believe the number is 125 new helmets. That replaces part of what we anticipate we'll need this year. We already have the other helmets in place. That is just as information. These helmets have a life cycle, and during that life cycle, you can have them kind of rejuvenated, I think twice, and then you basically have to retire those helmets. All this falls in, current concussion protocols and that kind of stuff. So this is, you've got 3 quotes, and the request is to approve a low bid of $21,060.50 from Cerner Sports, which are shoot helmets, which include face mask. I think the unit costs $162 per helmet.
Are all the helmets the same specs as far as quality and?
Yes, sir. If you look at these, you're looking at, I think some of them were right there. I mean, I at one time knew which kind of helmets they are, but all those helmets have to be certified, and they have to meet those standards. And there's not, there's just a handful of vendors or helmets that make helmets that you see in youth and high school sports.
All right, any other questions? All right, we have a motion to approve the purchase of the football helmets.
So moved.
second? Second. Mr. Webb, second, all in favor? All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Carter, you have any comments?
Now, when everybody comes back from vacation, so I can take mine. Mr. Chairman, we do need, an executive session for our.
Legal and real estate.
Yeah, there you go.
Legal and real estate.
Yes, sir.
All right. Commissioner Hughes? Mr. Rowell, don't let me skip over you. Would you like to say anything now?
Yes, sir.
I figured you were saving up for executive session.
In all my minutes.
Commissioner Hughes? Commissioner Stone? Commissioner Webb?
Good.
Mr. Wood?
Actually, I got something. Usually I don't, but I just began a lot of thought about the relief that the homestead exemption claimers are going to get with this tax period. And I'd just like to see maybe, I don't know who needs to do it, whether it needs to come, what office, but I think we need to get some information to some of the homeowners that have escrow accounts. We don't know if they got escrow accounts, but if they're there, you know, let them know that you're going to get a relief and your escrow account is going to go down next year. And then we got these new assessed values coming out. And you're going to be playing catch up for 2 years worth of difference there. And just to advise them to check and look about, because me, I got an escrow account, I'm paying the same thing. I'm going to just completely ignore that my tax bill's going down.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that Commissioner Woods and the tax assessor, takes that on, but I will get with Hayward and have him put something
I
in.
mean,
So the homeowner can request that their escrow remain the same?
well, they just send additional money in. They don't adjust their payment, just keep sending it in, be braced for it, because it's going to catch some people that don't understand how escrow works, and there's a lot, and I was in banking for a long time, and it catches people, and this is going to catch a lot of people, they're not aware of it.
So it's gonna automatically go down, but they will have to make the decision themselves to keep paying that same
Yeah,
amount.
yeah, just to advise them that, yeah, your tax, next year's gonna drop, because you was higher this year, but then you're gonna play catch up, that next year when that value goes up.
We'll put you in charge of that public service announcement. Commissioner Heston? You better not say anything now, I tell you, it's sitting here quiet on me. Just real quick, our Tift County 4-H BB team went out to Rogers, Arkansas to participate in the Daisy Nationals, and they placed 17th out of 52 teams in the nation, 3rd out of 13 Georgia teams that went out there. So I think congratulations are in order for them. They had 2 members to score a perfect score on the test, and one placed 3rd in the nation in the prone position in an alternate division. They had 31 people from here travel out there to cheer them on, so we're very proud of that group. We just want to give them a little shout out.
Yep.
We need their names in case we ever need sharpshooters around. All right, we have a motion to go into executive session for legal and real estate.
So moved.
Really?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, thank you very much. Thank y'all for coming.